uncover the most terrible punishments inflicted upon women during the dark history of World War II. A time of immense suffering and hardship, the war brought about unimaginable horrors for many, including women who found themselves caught in the crossfire. Join me as we shed light on these unspeakable acts of cruelty and remember the resilience of those who endured. In the midst of the global conflict, women played pivotal roles on the home front, taking on jobs, supporting their families, and aiding the war effort. But their involvement also made them vulnerable to the wrath of oppressive regimes and the brutality of war. Let us examine some of the most dreadful punishments inflicted upon women during this tumultuous period. 1. Forced sterilization. In some cases, women deemed undesirable by the Nazi regime were forcibly sterilized as part of their eugenics program. This horrific practice aimed to prevent them from reproducing and perpetuating what the Nazis considered to be inferior traits. 2. Mass executions. Women, particularly those suspected of aiding resistance movements or harboring fugitives, were subjected to mass executions. They were often lined up and shot, or sent to extermination camps, where they faced gas chambers or other brutal methods of execution. 3. Forced abortions. In occupied territories, women impregnated by enemy soldiers, or as a result of rape, were sometimes subjected to forced abortions. These traumatic experiences added further anguish to the already unbearable hardships endured by women during the war. 4. Forced labor and sexual exploitation. Women were forced into labor camps where they endured grueling work conditions, exploitation, and physical abuse. Some were subjected to sexual exploitation by their captors, enduring rape and other forms of sexual violence. 5. Public humiliation and shaming. Women accused of collaboration or other offenses faced public humiliation as a means of punishment. They were paraded through streets, their heads shaved, and sometimes publicly beaten or spat upon by their fellow citizens. 6. Human experimentation. Women, particularly those in concentration camps, became victims of horrific human experimentation. They were subjected to medical tests, surgical procedures without anesthesia, and other forms of sadistic experimentation that caused immense physical and psychological suffering. 7. Arbitrary imprisonment. Women were often arbitrarily imprisoned, sometimes without any formal charges or trials. They were held in inhumane conditions, overcrowded cells, and subjected to constant surveillance, interrogations, and torture. 8. Separation and family disruption. Women and their families faced forced separation, with husbands, fathers, or sons sent off to fight or imprisoned. The loss of loved ones and the uncertainty of their fate added immeasurable emotional pain to the already unbearable circumstances. 9. Forced repatriation and displacement. Women from occupied territories or those belonging to persecuted ethnic or religious groups faced forced repatriation or displacement. They were uprooted from their homes and communities, often enduring long and treacherous journeys in search of safety. 10. Denial of basic rights and dignity. Women during this period were stripped of their basic human rights and dignity. They were denied access to healthcare, education, and basic necessities. Their voices were silenced, and their experiences were often marginalized or erased from historical narratives. Now, let's take a look at what happened during the Nazi regime of the great Hitler. During the Nazi regime, women faced various forms of persecution and suffered greatly under Hitler's ideology. Their experiences included systematic discrimination, forced sterilization, brutal medical experiments, sexual violence, and exploitation. Under the Nazi ideology, women were expected to conform to traditional gender roles, prioritizing their roles as wives and mothers. They were encouraged to embody the Aryan ideal of purity, subservience, and domesticity. Women who deviated from these norms or were deemed undesirable faced severe consequences. Women who were considered undesirable by the regime, including those with disabilities, mental illnesses, or deemed racially impure, were subjected to forced sterilization. The Nazi regime aimed to eliminate their ability to reproduce and perceived them as threats to the purity of the Aryan race. In concentration camps, women endured unimaginable suffering. They faced torture, starvation, and medical experiments. Some were subjected to sterilization experiments, while others were used as guinea pigs for testing new drugs or surgical techniques. The goal was to advance the Nazi regime's eugenics program and medical research at the expense of women's lives and well-being. Additionally, women, particularly those in occupied territories, were subjected to sexual violence and exploitation. The Nazis implemented a system of forced prostitution, known as brothels, where women were coerced or forced into sexual slavery. These brothels were primarily established for the sexual gratification of German soldiers. The experiences of women during the Nazi regime were marked by dehumanization, humiliation, and violence. Their bodies and reproductive capacities were seen as tools to further the Nazi ideology and control the population. The systematic oppression and persecution of women during this time were part of the broader atrocities committed by the Nazis, leaving a lasting scar on history. But you should also know that during World War II, numerous women played significant roles and faced extraordinary challenges. Here are some great real-life heroes. 1. Sophie Scholl. Sophie Scholl, along with her brother Hans, was a member of the White Rose resistance movement in Nazi Germany. They distributed anti-Nazi leaflets calling for active opposition to Hitler's regime. In 1943, Sophie and Hans were arrested, interrogated, and ultimately executed for their acts of resistance. 2. Irena Sendler. Irena Sendler, a Polish social worker, saved thousands of Jewish children from the Warsaw Ghetto during the Holocaust. She smuggled them out, providing them with false identities and placing them with non-Jewish families or in convents. Despite being arrested and tortured by the Gestapo, Sendler never revealed any information about the children she saved. 3. Nancy Wake. Nancy Wake, a British intelligence agent, worked with the French resistance during the war. Codenamed the White Mouse by the Nazis, she played a vital role in organizing resistance efforts, sabotaging German operations, and assisting in the escape of Allied soldiers. Wake's bravery and resourcefulness earned her numerous accolades. 4. Anne Frank. Anne Frank, a Jewish girl from Amsterdam, documented her experiences in a diary while in hiding during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. Her diary, published after her death in a concentration camp, provides a poignant and insightful account of the human spirit and the horrors of the Holocaust. 5. Vera Atkins. Vera Atkins, a British intelligence officer, played a crucial role in the Special Operations Executive, SOE. She recruited and trained agents for undercover work in occupied territories, coordinating sabotage operations and gathering intelligence. Atkins's efforts were instrumental in aiding the resistance and undermining German operations. 6. Noor Inayat Khan. Noor Inayat Khan, a British Muslim of Indian and American descent, served as a wireless operator in the SOE. She was the first female radio operator sent into occupied France. Despite being captured and enduring torture, Khan refused to provide information to the Germans. She was executed in Dachau concentration camp. These women, among countless others, exhibited tremendous bravery, resilience, and heroism during World War II. Their stories highlight the crucial role women played in resistance movements, intelligence operations, and saving lives during one of the darkest chapters in history. Their contributions serve as a testament to the power of courage and determination in the face of immense adversity. As the war drew to a close, liberation came for many, bringing an end to the torment they had endured. Yet, the scars remained, both physical and psychological, reminding us of the resilience of those who survived. Today, we remember the women who suffered the most terrible punishments during World War II. Their stories serve as a haunting reminder of the atrocities committed and the importance of preserving peace and protecting human rights. May their endurance and strength inspire us to create a world where such horrors are never repeated. Thank you for joining me on this solemn journey through the dark chapters of history. Let us strive to honor the memory of those who suffered and work towards a future filled with compassion, understanding, and equality.